Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm painting the ATST from StarWars Legion. Alright, the first thing you need to do is you need to prime the model with a matte black or flat black of your choice. Today I will be primarily using an airbrush, so if you do not have one, I do apologize. The first color that we're going to be using through the airbrush is the Acryl Blue Black, and this will give us that nice transition from that black to a dark blue to a light blue gray. So that's what we're shooting for. With this, you're going to try to hit most of the main panels. About 80% of the model is what we're going to be covering with this paint here. And this will be most of your time spent with the airbrush is putting this base layer down. If you are wondering, I am using the new hardened Steenbeck, their 2024 CR Plus that they just released. First time ever using this airbrush, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't have any issues whatsoever. It shot really well. I'm shooting around 25 psi for the entire video. If you are in the market for a new airbrush, obviously this one, but they did also release the new hardened Steenbeck Ultra for about $100. So it's a great investment for newer painters that want to get into an airbrush. As you can see, I've coated most of the model, just again finding that light source that I'm going off of and leaving those shadows there. The next color we're going to be using is the Acryl Sky Blue with the Acryl bright warm gray. With the sky blue, it's I'll just give you my ratio is about 3 drops of sky blue paint to about 10 drops of the bright warm gray with a flow improver. The nice thing with the Pro Acryl paints, you technically don't need to use a flow improver, but I like how they spray with just a little bit of flow improver in there to help. Again, I didn't have any issues, any gumming up or anything this entire time I sprayed with the airbrush. So I'm now hitting most of those higher spots, again leaving a little bit of black, dark blue, and then now to this color here. You're going to really punch it in on most of those higher corners and just all the areas that you're wanting that light source to be. So you could definitely take this to another higher level if you want to do even more highlights. I like the color how it worked out where it was at after this stage. But if you wanted to even take it to a more of a higher, like almost a white or that bright warm gray color, which is almost like a lighter than khaki, you could definitely use that just straight from the gun. Again, I was looking for more of this blue hue, just to give it some really nice contrast. Alright, after that's laid, you're going to use the Pro Acryl Black Wash, and what we're going to do with this is we are just going to emphasize those shadows. So again, helping us transition from that black to the dark blue to the light. Nice thing with when you're shooting any type of wash, you don't have to reduce it or use any type of flow improver. They do say that you want to be around 15-20 psi, but I shot with 25 and had no issues whatsoever. This will help again get those gradients in there and just pull the model together. The more colors you can use and have better more transitions with those colors, the better those transitions will actually turn out. So just finishing up here with this black wash. Again, you could leave the model where it sits and it would be to a great tabletop standard. You can see It's really nice. The bright highlight hue of the blue, gray, going to that darker blue to the black. It's looking real good. All right, the next color we're going to transition to is Grim Black from the Army Painter Speed line. We're just going to work those darker shadows that we sort of worked on with the black wash, and we're going to push them even further. So we're going to work on just most of the bottom of the model, the vents, and we are just going to punch in those shadows even harder. Looking real good. All right, we got everything laid. So at this point, you could definitely leave the model where it sits. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do a little bit of weathering. So we're going to go back with the first color we used, which was the Acryl Blue Black, and you're going to use a sponge or a piece of foam, and I'm using tweezers, and all you're going to do is you're going to hit the model with some chipping. So you're going to work mostly on those 90-degree corners and areas where you're going to see most wear and tear. This is your own interpretation of where wear will be, so do as you would like as far as how much weathering you need to do. I sort of started and I was really enjoying this step and kept it going. So this probably was the most time I spent on the model, was just getting this weathering put down. So for the army, our theme for Adepticon is going to be the Battle of Scarif. So I wanted to really focus on more of the inner islands jungle process. So if you haven't seen my jungle basing, I'll put a thumbnail in here, but that's where I got the color concept from. And also I was really trying to push this weathering to show, hey, this is a salty environment with the air, and so it's pretty rough on equipment. That's what I'm trying to display here. Definitely the feet and the legs you're gonna hit mostly, because that's gonna be rubbing against trees, against brush, and that paint's just not gonna last very long in those types of areas. So try to look at some reference photos of this, and there's, far and few. There's people that do some extreme weathering which look great. I was sort of trying to fit somewhat in the middle with this weathering. Some of those areas are harder to reach with that sponge. Those tweezers, you could definitely pull out a brush and hit some scratches and chips with that brush if you wanted to. Alright guys, now we're to the last stage of the weathering process. First thing you need to do though before you begin with this is you need to varnish the model with some type of I use a matte varnish. You can definitely use gloss. I know most people say for enamel oils use gloss because the pigment will move around a lot better, so that way you can manipulate it. But the product we're using is the AK Rust Streaks. I've never used this product before, so it's a little nerve-wracking using a product that I'm trying to showcase at this model that I'm doing right. But it actually worked out really well. I do have experience using other oil washes, so I figured it would react very similar to that. So as you can see, I'm just going in with a brush and applying it to certain areas that are going to have more of the exposed metal. And just put that grime on there, that AK streaking rust grime. Went in and started hitting them, all the bolts and just small little parts there. I was having a really fun time with this. So lesson learned though, if you are going to use this product, work in an area. So work, say, just the front right panel to that side, or maybe that whole front right side, and let the product dry, and then work the product. As you'll see, when I start working with the mineral spirits to take the product off a little bit, it was a lot harder for me to work that off. As you can see right now, sort of rubbing the you could definitely get into the process where you're actually taking that varnish off and then taking your base coat off. So luckily I didn't work it that hard, but just some lessons learned the next time I use this product. Now I'm going in there with a Q-tip to clean up most of the residual product there, and just pulling what I want to pull with a brush and making more streaks. It's actually a pretty fun product to use, and I was having a really good time doing this. Obviously I'm working in certain places that probably wouldn't be very realistic to have rust, like in the joint areas. That metal to metal rubbing all the time will probably be shiny metal, but it's again just to create some type of contrast on the model. So we went back in after I worked all the product, and I actually applied more just to get some more depth and contrast within the rust that I was applying. At this time, I was getting fairly comfortable with the actual product itself, and it worked a lot better for me. So, as you can see, I'm just using my brush to spread it now, and then going in there cleaning what I don't want on there with the Q-tip with mineral spirits on there. Alright, we're almost to finishing point with all the weathering. Obviously, again, you can take it more or less, but I'm sort of liking where he's at now. Alright, I put him on his base. I actually pinned him to the base because he is a fairly top-heavy model. You can see with the jungle base, it really just pulls it all together. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do have any questions, please comment and I will reply back. And I'll catch you guys next time. Please like and subscribe. Thanks.